Hi everyone, it's Jo here. Thank you for watching today's video. Today's video is a collaboration between the Wow Embossing Powder and Picket Fence Studio design team members. We're pretty excited, and today I've made you a pretty floral card. I'm going to show you some techniques here. So for today's card, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to heat emboss and color in with some color bursts from Ken Oliver, and they were inspired by Catherine Pooler's inks and color palette. So here are the beautiful peonies. Now the peonies I'm going to color a heat emboss with the super fine opaque bright white. Now the reason why I chose the super fine is the granules are really finely milled. Therefore, with this intricate design of the stamp set, it was able to capture all the actual dimensions of the flower. So then it led to me colouring and watercolouring it in. Now, one of the things I do, because this is a little bit of a bigger Misty, I'm used to the mini one, I had to make sure there was enough pressure applied because I've got watercolour cardstock. So some watercolour cardstock, it's very thick base, but it can also have a little bit of a rougher texture. And this here is the Ranger watercolour cardstock. I do like it because I find it works really well with the Ken Oliver color bursts, and it blends, and it just I'm able to blend with an aqua brush the colors really well. So I am heat embossing now some of the images from the stamp set. I'm going to use my heat setting, my heat tool with the second heat setting. So there's two heat settings, and the second one's going to really melt this and look beautiful and capture all the detail. So here is the Samba. Now this is a red color burst. I've got two aqua brushes here. I've got a fine tip, and then I've got a thicker tip. The fine tip, I really want to concentrate more of the pigments when I pick it up, where the strongest part of the color I need it to be. The other brush, it's usually just with the clean water only, and I usually just bring that out and bring that pigment out to help the color spread within each of the petals. I have got this in fast mode. I've got it in double speed. I do take my time when it comes to watercoloring. I am a bit slow, but this is the way that I like to control my watercoloring, is picking up the pigment itself by just placing some of that powder on my glass mat and spritzing a little bit of water. Now also, if you missed it, I spritzed my cardstock first and foremost with just a spray, just to kind of let that watercolor cardstock become a little bit more pliable, and the colors blend well with the aqua brush blending. So I'm just concentrating every time I pick up some pigment. I concentrate first where the actual colors need to be concentrated first, and then I will bring it out and water it down and bring it out. So I repeat this for all three florals. I only end up using two floral images. I didn't like how the other one turned out. I just got too heavy-handed with the pigments, and I got a bit lazy too. I didn't want to work with each petal. And I ended up just brushing it on. So I just set that aside. That's the one on the bottom there. And then I am happy with how the first two turned out. I also colored the leaves with the Mardi Gras. Same technique, same method. And there it is close up. I'm going to fussy cut all these out and just set that aside, which I didn't include in the footage here. I have got the Wow refill tool here. Now you can use this to refill your ink pad, but it's also a freestyle tool. You can draw with it. I'm going to just directly place this on the paper and use a brush here to have almost like a brush effect as the background of my panel. So I am not being cautious. I am kind of just winging it here, and I'm just brushing this all over. And then once I'm happy with the strokes and that kind of rough look and feel like I got enough coverage, I'm going to then pour the Sorbet embossing glitter, again from Catherine Pooler, inspired, and it's like this beautiful glittery yellow, and that's going to be my backdrop. Now also grabbing a spare piece of copy paper to capture all of it. I'm just placing that underneath. It's what I do. I don't have any coffee filters here, so I'm just always use and have a ton of this on hand all the time. And you can see that it's a very rough effect of the actual brush. I'm going to heat set this with heat setting 2 with my heat tool, and then I'm going to set that aside. Actually, I'm going to fiddle with the actual placement of all the florals and the stems after I've cut it. So I fiddle around. I've left this footage in. You see me, I fussy around so much with this. I wanted to get it just right. And for today's adhesive choice, I use the Nuvo liquid adhesive and some foam squares. I find I've got a little bit of wiggle room time when I use the liquid adhesive. And this is the clear drying craft glue. It's a deluxe adhesive, and it's what I used for the stem and the first flower, which is directly placed onto the actual cardstock background panel there. And then I use the foam squares. Now I was a little bit indecisive where I placed the leaves here. I don't know why, but I left the footage in. I also wanted to talk to you about this hop. This is a blog hop with both design teams, so we would really love to hear from you. For every blog comment that you leave is an entry towards the prize packs. There's 2 prizes up for grabs, one from Picket and one from us. So we really hope to hear from you. We really enjoy reading your comments. And hoping that you really feel inspired with these 2 companies that have collaborated together to bring you some really good content and really good creations. You'll just love it. So I'm just going to add a little bit more adhesive just to that random stem there that I've placed, and then once I'm happy with that, I'll add a block to apply some pressure. Then I work on the sentiment. For the sentiment, I'm using the Hey You die, and that's going to be heat embossed solidly with the Bahama embossing glitter. That's part of a trio. I really love the white ultra high granules in this, and that's why I've also die cut with white cardstock the top layer of the Hey You. Now I'm going to adhere the panel of the whole piece that I've just created with some liquid adhesive. I am generous here purely because this panel warps slightly with the heat embossed background, and I really wanted to secure this down and make sure I've applied pressure everywhere as much as I can, as adhering on the top folding card base here. That's a standard A2 size card base, and that fit really well. Now I just trimmed that panel down to be an 1/8 of an inch around the border only. So, and that's my card done. It's really honestly a simple card, but because it's so effective with all the embossing powders and the beautiful image, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Now don't forget, this is a 2-day blog hop on both the 1st and 2nd of May. Both design teams have created some gorgeous inspirations and creation for you, so I do hope you stop by, and I'd really love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.